It is July 14th, 2022 at 3:01 p.m. I call this meeting of the Wellfleet Selectboard to order in accordance with the temporary suspension and enhancement of the open meeting laws allowed by the General Court of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Fred?
Yeah, July 14th, a couple of seconds after Ryan at 3:01 and change. Call this meeting of the Finance Committee, this very short meeting of the Finance Committee to order. Thank you.
Okay. The first item on our agenda, as always, is announcements, open session, and public comments. Public comments must be brief, and the board will not deliberate or vote on any matter raised solely during announcements and public comments. Are there any at this time? Okay, I'm not really expecting any, so. All right, end of the year transfers. Rich Waldo. Let's see, he hasn't turned on his camera yet.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm waiting for the accounting team to join in.
Okay, I see Nick.
You see Nick on there? I don't see Nick
Yep.
on.
Yeah, Nick just joined.
Okay, all right. So while he gets set up here, I just want to refer you guys to your emails. You guys just did get an email that came in hot off the press is the budget transfers. I believe, Fred, you may have, Kathy may have gotten an email. You might need to forward it onto your board, and then that way they can follow along. So the email has been sent, and with that, I'm going to actually pass it over to Nick and Lisa, if they could just go over what budget transfers are.
I didn't get the email.
I'm going to forward it to you guys right now. Just
Okay.
literally. It came in-
Fred, can you guys hear me?
Device.
We can hear you, Nick.
Okay, because I've had trouble with my, Fred, hold off forwarding it to everybody. We have one last minute change.
Yeah, we have one last minute change, which we can either just talk about, or you want it on a printout.
I'm fine with talking about it.
What?
So do you want just to have us verbally add it to the printout?
I think just talking about it, Nick, is fine. Just verbally go
Okay.
over.
Okay.
it.
All right.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stand, I'm gonna be standing here.
Lisa, do you want to sit here instead?
No,
Okay.
I'll just like lean over. Okay, well, this is really literally down to the wire. We just, Nick worked all morning, last night and today, finishing up the last warrant, working on encumbrances. I was working on balances. We met. We have, as soon as you look at your documents, there's over $286,000 worth of transfers to be made. Let me know when you've got your documents so that we can talk about them if you want to talk about them.
They will be in your hands in 2 seconds. I am sending them now, guys.
Okay, and I just put them up on the screen too.
Shut the door.
Stephen, I sent it to your business address. I hope that's okay.
Yes, because I'm at work and I might have to pop off because I'm only one of 2 people here and we're still open for another hour. So I would hope that we could speed this along. Thank you.
Yep. Well, the good news for you is we have 1 over a quorum at this point. So if you leave, we still have a quorum.
Budgeted. Actually, I'm gonna just put it on.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay,
Got
so
it.
well, over 200 and some odd $1,000 worth of transfers to be made. The accounts on the left are the ones that are overdrawn, and the accounts on the right are the ones that we've been henpecking to get these budgets balanced. The accounting wages obviously is myself and Judy and Mary, same with the treasurer. Some of us have been charged one place or the other. So that's really the accounting and the treasury wages. Legal expenses is overdrawn by $118,000. And I do want to bring to your attention that it was level funded from fiscal 21. And it's also level funded in fiscal 22 at 23 at 125,000. So as you can see, we're overdrawn by 118. So you're going to keep that in your hat because you're going to need to do another transfer unless your legal expenses drop considerably. The other departments, our tax title was $870 overdrawn. That budget was like $6,000. But we overdrew the tax title expense by 870, but we brought in $25,000 of tax title money by spending the 870 overdrawn. The zoning board, I'm going to take from the planning board. Police expenses, they said they could take it from their wages. Fire is coming from the Nauset and the Cape Cod Tech assessments. The Cape Cod Tech had a overassessed once they found out what their E&D was, which is their free cash. Then we had the building wages. You know, we had turnover in the building department. So we're going to take some from their expenses, the Cape Cod Tech and the liability. The traffic parking stipend, we had one person who was doing the traffic parking. We now have two. Well, we have one now because at one point we had one, then we had two for a short amount of time, and we only have the one left, but it overdrew the account by $301. The debt budget, the septic loan, some kind of got lost in the sauce there when they were doing the budget presentation for the debt. That's $10,000 from, we took it from Board of Health and property liability. And the town share health savings account, $5,500, we'll take from the town share Medicare. The only other item that we had to add, oh, we did add it. The fire department expenses is overdrawn once they encumber everything by $2,618. So that's an addition. Now, I'd like to do a provisional because we have to talk to DPW. There is a provision of the law that allows the town to overdraw the snow and ice account. And when you overdraw the snow and ice account, you have to raise it on the tax rate next year. The account is overdrawn $27,929. And I would like to talk to Jay Norton to see if he has money in his operating budget to cover that.
I'm thinking he might have some in 420.
So if I can have a contingency vote on that.
420, we should be able to take it out of
Yeah, okay.
wages here.
Okay, yep.
420 wages,
Well,
there's
so we
102,
I don't need, yeah.
102,000.
Okay. So we would want to amend this for the snow and ice to come out of the DPW wages.
Yep, 420 wages, we have what appears to be 102,000 left. I don't think you took any out.
No, I did not.
there.
No, I
Okay,
did not.
then we can do it through the snow and ice
2719.
for the ice. Yeah, snow and ice.
We're talking in circles with each other now. We've been doing this all day. But we got it done.
Yeah.
And we would like your blessing on all of these with these two amendments with the fire and the snow and ice.
Okay.
If you have any questions, we'll see if we can answer them for you by pulling reports or our brain.
I have
John,
a quick question.
Tara?
There's $37,000 left over in the human services budget. That seems like a lot.
Yes, when I was chatting with Suzanne, there are a couple of students that did not take advantage of the voucher program. One being in Provincetown and a couple of local ones.
I see.
John?
Yeah, this is just a general question for my own education. What exactly is meant by overdrawn? I mean, I know what it means personally. It's something I've managed to avoid for many years now, but
Well, that's what we want to avoid too, but it's exactly what you think it is. They've overexpended on these particular line items. They don't have enough money in their budget to cover their expenses that they made.
I mean,
then how were the
some-
bills paid?
Well, I think sometimes, I mean, what happens is a budget is a best indication based on the past. But, you know, like for the DPW example, if their truck engine collapses, they don't necessarily have that in the budget. They have maybe $2,000 for general maintenance and repair of the vehicle. But then let's say, I don't know, it, you know, runs over a rock and breaks the axle and they've got a $10,000 repair. That's going to put that line item over 10,000. So sometimes overdrawn doesn't mean they're not paying attention necessarily. It just means maybe an expense came up that is unusual and it overdraws it for that fiscal year.
I'm basically asking, for instance, when I sign a payroll warrant in my duty as clerk, you know, signing off on say well, what's an example on here?
Like the building department wages is overdrawn, yes.
Yeah, all right, so I sign off on the building department wages, the payroll for that 2-week period. I assume that's getting paid, but where's the money coming from if it's overdrawn?
Well, if it's getting paid by the general cash of the whole, you have millions of dollars in the bank, it's getting paid. And
Oh,
either
okay, it's just not coming out of that specific budget.
it's coming out of the budget, but the bank pays the bill. We process it through the payroll and charge that department. Now that, the last month, this is probably the last month as a net. But, we've had 3 building inspectors this year.
Mhm.
And they got to get paid. You got to pay your wages. It's just the way that is.
Right.
The only other recourse is to not pay them, which is against the law. And you have to raise it on the recap sheet, which is your tax rate for next season.
Right.
John, too, you're not really, when you sign on that, you're not necessarily signing something incorrect in the sense of being overdrawn. Most municipalities operate on what they call A and B budgets, balancing out to a net zero at worst case scenario. So for example, you try and keep all the budgets within line. So you want A budget, which is salary and wages, to stay in line, and B budget, which is operating expenses, to stay in line. But in theory, if A goes over, you can draw from B. It's just as long as the bottom line is net. So even though that line item is overdrawn, you're not necessarily signing off on an overdrawn department. Like the
Roger.
department isn't necessarily overdrawn completely. And, monthly reports and stuff, which are going to start happening again now that I'm here, will keep people more in line and more aware. A lot of these people were flying blind this fiscal year.
Well, the first half.
Well, the first half, yeah.
Basically, our job today is to balance A with B.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's what I was just trying to get clear on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions at this time? Okay, so I move to approve the fiscal year 2022 budgetary end of year transfers as presented with the following amendment: the snow and ice budget be funded by line item 420.
John, second?
Okay, can I have a roll call vote?
And don't forget the fire expenses, $2,618.
Okay,
If you approve that. That's up to you.
so which transfer is that?
It's the one it's the amendment that I'm just talking about. It's fire department expenses. Once they have encumbered their money, there will be short $2,618.
And we can take that from property and
And
liability insurance.
Okay, and what was the sum total again? 2,000.
Oh, 618.
618, okay. Okay, so I'll make the motion again. So I move to approve the fiscal year 2022 budgetary end of the year transfers as presented with the following amendments: the snow and ice be funded by line item 420, and that fire expenses on a total of $2,618 to be funded by property. What was it? Property assessment?
Yes, property liability insurance.
Property liability insurance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan, just as a point of order,
Yep.
before we vote, can we do this as a joint vote so that the finance committee votes as well? So we don't have to repeat the whole process?
Sure, as long as I get the votes from both boards, I'm happy, no matter how you do it.
Okay,
Okay,
You want a second on this motion? Or do
okay.
we wait?
No, it needs to be seconded.
Second.
Okay, can I have a roll call vote?
John, aye?
Barbara, I.
Ryan, I. Sorry.
Kathleen, I.
and I'd like to get a motion from the finance committee to vote on the same motion.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Okay, I can't see everybody, so I'm just gonna go by memory here. Ira,
Yay.
Bob,
Aye.
Stephen? Stephen, still there? Jeff Tash? Is Jeff gone too?
No, he's here. We can't hear you, Jeff.
Raise
I
your
can't
hand,
see
Jeff.
If you put your thumbs up, I'll see it. All right. he has his
All
thumb
right,
up.
good, great.
Mo
Aye.
and Jeff Behrens, I think is still here, right?
Aye.
And
Yes,
I
aye.
vote aye, so we are 6-0, I believe. I think Stephen's gone, right?
Think so.
I think so.
So 6-0 for the finance committee.
All right. I think we're done. So I move to adjourn.
Thank you, folks. We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
everybody. Appreciate
you.
the
Sorry, it
time.
was literally last minute, but it took a
Yep.
lot of work to find these funds. Thank you.
I'll assume the finance committee has no issue with adjourning as well. So thank you so much for attending, guys.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you,
All
Fred.
right, thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
next
Have a
Rick.
great weekend.
Can I get a
Bye-bye now.
second and then a roll call vote, please?
Aye.
Done.
Barbara, aye.
Done, aye.
Ryan, I.
Kathleen, aye.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. I think you lost your quorum, Fred. So
No, I wait for acclamation and I got it.
Okay,
Sometimes we go with if anyone objects, otherwise we assume unanimity.
all right.
okay.
Well, thank you. Have a great
Thanks.
day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.